The Synth Crisis Collection by Greg Dragon. Narrated by Tucker McDougall. Production date 2021. Copyright date 2021.
The Judas Cyper. Written by Greg Dragon. Narrated by Tucker McDougall. Chapter 1. Synthetic Mary. Moonlight illuminated the parking lot like heaven's judgment, exposing the sins of any whool foolish enough to do his dirt out in the open. The night was damp, cold, and miserable. Cold for Tampa Bay, and cold for Dhata Mays as he leaned against his off-white Buick, looking down at the naked body with a face frozen in an expression of surprise. "Go on ahead and roll it over, Jason," he said, and the detective's eyes flicked up to meet his. The flashing lights of the squad cars were like a disco ball on the corpse, and they gave his friend's eyes a look of fire coming alive. "Sorry, Jason. I mean, roll him over, if you please." Jason Dale rolled the body onto its stomach and sat back on his haunches, staring at the pale white back and the neat fissure that ran from his head all the way down to the top of his buttocks. Jason looked exhausted. It had been a long night since he had first arrived to examine the body. Typically, when Jason called Dhata out on crime scenes, it was the same old, a synth being murdered for body parts or just for simply existing. Jason would call him out, he would make his statement, then do a little investigation on which gang or hate group committed the assault. That part was easy as well, since Dhata knew just about every gang or hate group out there. He would crack a few skulls, then someone would confess, and he'd get paid. Dhata's job wasn't something that people even knew existed. He was a police officer's bounty hunter, a skip tracer, an ex-detective who had taken up the charge of policing society's robotic neighbors. Ever since the integration of synthetic people into the population, there had been a significant rise in crime, much of it having to do with the recycling of parts. Dhata, who had been a detective and a friend to the synths, quit the force to work for his good friend Jason. It allowed him to be involved with police work without the corruption and the miles of red tape. "What do you think killed him?" Jason said. "Give me a theory and I'll work out the science, but that man is missing his spine." Dhata spat through his teeth, a disgusting habit, then wiped away the excess spittle with the arm of his jacket. "That ain't a human," he said. "He's a synth, and he lost his spine to somebody looking to get paid." "So it's a synthetic person?" "Ah." Jason perked up with excitement. "Man, they are getting really hard to detect." "Synth person?" "Listen to you, being all politically correct. Just put this one in as a black market robbery, Jay. It's sad that he's dead, but do you know how many synths I've seen in this position?" Jason fanned him off. "Go hound for Marys, you monger. I know how badly you need to scratch that itch. I'll call you tomorrow if we need you down at the lab. The rest of us real Johns will finish up here." "Real Johns," Dhata mumbled, and hopped into his car. He swung it around, then jabbed his finger on a red icon that would trigger the car's heater. He held it till the gauge reached the middle. The car's heat was always too damn hot. Then switched to a jazz selection for the long ride home. The streets were extra lively, despite it being a Tuesday night. He sped down Fowler Avenue, then jumped onto the highway, mimicking the sound of the radio's saxophone moaning at the top of his lungs, and his GPS display came alive. He slid through 2 screens, selected a restaurant, then released his seatbelt and leaned back. The car accelerated and took on a life of its own, following the path toward Empire's Tavern. "Cinny, answer," he announced, and the Buick's AI confirmed audibly. There was some rustling, and then it got quiet before Jason's voice was coming through. "Jason, what's up? Did I drop something on the ground out there?" "Yeah, your wits. It must be cold, Dhata. This man is a human being." "What?" His legs flew up and then hit the floor, forcing the back of his seat erect. "A human being? Bro, are you sure? You mean to tell me that someone snatched the spine out of one of us?" "Yeah, but it gets better. They used a Kuroki knife, the same kind they used to extract..."
Sample complete. Ready to continue?